And we're recording. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of the Brocast, here with Dash. And we're just going to sit here and ramble out our butts for like 30 minutes. I kind of want to talk about, because you know TikTok, right? Because me and Spook are constantly sending each other stuff on there.
Yep.
So there's been a new thing. I wanted to talk specifically about something on it, because I find it's a little interesting phenomena that it's been happening, which is that there's a new hashtag that's like, it's become the most prevalent thing on there now, which is Bring Back Bullying 2020. And it's always put next to these, like, I'm talking the cringest stuff you've ever seen. I'm talking like furries who are also into like diaper stuff. And so they're in this furry costume with a giant adult diaper over the furry costume.
Okay.
And it's like the most degenerate stuff I've ever seen. But there's been a lot of pushback against it. And so my question to you is, should we bring back bullying 2020?
I'll be honest with you. I'm like so far behind in any trend. When any trend comes out, I'm so far behind it because if I'm personally not interested in it, and that's honestly with most things. I barely know anything about TikTok in general. I'm like, I feel like so old saying that, just like, what's TikTok, but like I know what it is and I have it and I do watch some stuff on it, but like I literally don't pay attention to any stuff like that, so I really don't know what any of that really means, to be honest.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I also am on it and I don't really understand a lot of it.
Seriously, I don't understand.
I've never had an app make me feel like a boomer before.
Yeah. It's a bunch of 13 to 16-year-olds, just chilling.
Yeah, well, yeah, they just on there vibing or whatever.
Pretty much.
It's like, I see stuff about like, oh, well, this kid in my class or this kid at school, and I'm just like, wow, I haven't had to say those words in a long time.
Yeah. Like, I'll go on and I'll watch, and I mean, there's some relatable stuff on there, but most of the time, I'm watching like stand-up comedians that are on there.
Yeah, there's some
or stuff that'll actually make me laugh. It's like, that's pretty much all that I'm there for. Yeah. I barely spend any time on TikTok though.
Well, that was why, because I don't spend a whole lot of time on it myself. But that's why I brought this one up, is because in the short period of time that I do spend on it, it seems to be all I see now. Like in my For You page, that's all that comes up is that, and then occasionally like a stand-up comedian. But I'll be honest. After seeing some of the stuff they're posting this by, I fully support bringing back bullying 2020. Like, why did we ever get rid of that? And I'm saying this as a kid who, throughout his entire time at school, was bullied. All the freaking time.
Yeah.
I mean, constantly. But I'll be honest, I think I came out better for it. Like, at least I'm not like some of these people. Oh, geez. Like, I'll send you some stuff later, but it's like, good God, did your parents not beat you enough growing up?
Right.
Like, yeah, it's bad, man.
Yeah. I personally haven't gone through any of that, like being homeschooled, I personally didn't go through any of that, so.
Yeah, you were.
But still, I can understand where people come from, and I know that it has been a problem, but I seriously have not heard of bullying in a while now.
Yeah, I had
it didn't seem to be a problem for a little bit, but apparently they wanted to bring it back.
Well, it's like, so, because I work out of school, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's my day job. And so I think it was last year, I had to do this thing called, it's like called Challenge Day or whatever. and it was all about like ending bullying and accepting people for who they are. We had like three kids come out as transgender. Beautiful, brave experience. I'm never doing that again, let me tell you. That was, oh geez. And it was like the two hosts of it were like obviously gay, like not just that they were gay, but they were like flaming homosexuals. Like,
yeah. Like you could tell.
Like, yeah. Well, and then
you could tell without even them saying
yeah,
anything.
it's like they just start and you're just like, oh, I know what you like.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. And then he was like pointing, so me and Chasen both had to be there for it, right? And because it was Chasen's class that was doing it, and I was one of the adult volunteers that was volunteered against my will.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So was my mom. Mom doesn't even work there.
Yeah.
Just one of the teachers was like, "Hey, we need some adult help for this program." Mom didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
Mom's like, "Yeah, we ain't doing that again." And then my dad was also supposed to do it, but he ended up having a work project, so he didn't get to. So my aunt did it instead, and she was also like, "Yeah, it's probably a good thing my dad didn't go there, because like my dad, he's got the patience of Job, but I'm pretty sure he would have lost it." My dad has no toleration for that kind of stuff. But dude, like, so it's like I see stuff about bullying all the time now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll be honest, some of these kids need to get bullied. Like, some of them need a good kick in the pants, because
I mean, I will say that, yeah, that's definitely true. So, like, sometimes you're just like, but that's not of just like, it's more of you are like not acting right. Like you're not behaving correctly. Like you're being disrespectful. You're being, you're just actually not being a good person. Like that I can understand, and giving someone a hard time about that. Maybe not exactly bullying, but like, just telling them what for, it's just like, hey, dude, that's messed up. You shouldn't be doing this and that. Like, actually just like be straight up with them.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like, it seems like anything that makes somebody feel bad these days is considered bullying.
Yeah.
Like I look back into the things that I was bullied for when I was in school. It was like, yeah, they would give me crap because I'm a redhead or whatever. And that just taught me to have a thicker skin. Like,
yeah,
people are gonna be that way. Deal with it. Whatever.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the stuff I got bullied for was I brought it on myself.
Yeah.
Like, I was one of those kids that I hung around with the weird crowd because, I didn't play sports. I wasn't part of, I was a nerd. I was straight up a nerd. But then I would hang out with, like, the other nerds who were also emo kids and then also, like, straight up weeaboos.
Yeah.
And it was like, so I was one of those kids that was like unironically doing the Naruto hand signal things, whatever those are called. I didn't even watch Naruto. I didn't even know what Naruto was, and I was doing those. All right, I needed some bullying, man.
Right.
I needed something to set me straight. Or then later on, like, because I was top of the class academically, I got a little overconfident, and I was a jerk to, like, if I thought you were dumb, I totally talk crap to you. And I got some bullying for that too. And you know what? I needed it.
Yeah. See, in cases like that, I mean, people like that is like, they do need it because it sets them straight. Because it gives them a reality check then. Because then they're just like, oh, wait, like, I'm actually being a jerk. Or, it's like.
Or just like I knew some kids that, like, not even just joke, unironically Naruto ran. Like, because they thought that was the thing to do. Like, they weren't doing it as a joke. that was just what they did, and they thought that that made them cool, and it did not. They needed some bullying. And then I knew some kids like would like growl at people, or they would like, they had those, have you seen, you know, the hoodies where the sleeves are like a little too long and it's got a little hole for the thumbs?
Yes.
They would wear those, and they were always like torn up and covered in cat hair and smelled like cat pee, because none of these kids knew how hygiene worked.
Right.
And it was disgusting. They were disgusting, and those were the ones I hung out with.
Yeah.
Like, I needed some bullying just for that, even though I never got it. But like, they would like shrink back into their hoodies, and they would like do the thing where they like bit their lip and would like make animal noises. Like,
yeah. The thing is, with that kind of behavior, it's like, what do you do? Like, other than like actually just being yourself, being a jerk to them, like they might, like, that's just how they are as a, you know, like,
yeah,
it's they're sure they're weird. That's weird to do and stuff. But then when you go and bully that person for just being a little odd, then that turns you like then that shows that you're the jerk, you know?
I mean, that's fair, but it's also at the same time, it's like, I remember, like, I was never that bad, but I used to do some of that stuff. Reference the Naruto thing. And it was the bullying that made me kind of realize, wait a second. Everybody's bullying me for this. Nobody else is doing this. This is probably a weird thing that I'm doing. Maybe I should stop.
Yeah. Well, see, that's where your mindset went too. It was just like, you noticed and you were observant about that. And you're like, hey, like, that's weird. I should stop and stuff. Some people literally don't have that, and that actually like blows my mind that some people would like are not observant enough to know, like, from social cues. It's like, hey, this is weird. This is weirding people out. I'm getting made fun of for this. Like, maybe I should just stop doing that. You know?
Well, and that's the other thing too, is that I didn't naturally necessarily have that awareness either. But like, when I would tell my parents, "Oh, I got bullied at school," they'd say, "What would you get bullied for?" And I would, I'd tell them whatever it was. It's like, well, and they even to me would be like, "What sounds to me like you brought that on yourself. Maybe you should quit being a freaking weirdo." So, I didn't have parents that just like I didn't have a Karen mom that was just like, "Oh, my poor baby,"
Yeah.
Like, no, my mom set me straight. She was like, "You're being a weirdo. You're being a little piece of crap. Cut it out, and you won't get bullied."
Yeah. And sometimes that's what you need right there.
That was
that's
what I needed.
Is like, you need someone to be like, that you trust, someone that you trust, be straight up with you and be like, this is how this is, and it's like, you need to stop.
Exactly.
you just need someone to be real with you.
Yeah. I guess that's what it is. Some of the kids just don't have anybody that's real with them, because all the adults now, like, I know the parent, like, I went to school with the parents of some of these kids. And they were a few grades older than me, obviously, because some of these, they're like in their 30s, but they're like in their 30s, so they were a few grades older than me. But I went to school with them, and they grew up in the time where it's like, anything that, if it made somebody feel bad for any reason, like, you have to just accept everything, because if it makes somebody feel bad for any reason, that's bullying. And I've kind of realized that the anti-bullying stuff, it doesn't take effect immediately, because the kids who are getting the message, they're not going to stop then, but when they become parents is when they influence their kids to stop.
Yeah.
And so now I'm here at school, working, and I'm seeing the effect of this, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Who thought that was a good idea,
Right, exactly.
It's like, because I see some kids now, it's like, I think back to the weirdest kids from when I was in school, and they were not as weird as some of these kids.
Yeah. And like, it was the same, it's kind of the same for me when I went to Votech. There were some weird kids in the class that I had first got into. and even like while I was in Votech, I went to 2 different classes, and in both classes, like there was some freaking weird kids, dude. I mean, it's the like really really weird, and they're public school kids. You would think that, I mean, when you think about it from a certain standpoint, you'd think that homeschool kids would be really weird and like not really be able to have any social interaction just because they don't get it because they're homeschooled. You think that public kids, they get that every day, so they have the ability to socialize, and like they understand social cues and stuff. That is not always the case, dude.
Yeah. Well, and
like,
I almost wonder, because I almost think that what it is just kind of going back to bullying. Part of social interaction and learning how to be interactive socially is having negative interactions.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that's bullying, whether that's like people just avoiding you because you're weird, whatever that takes place as, that's like a very necessary part of learning social cues. And some of these kids aren't getting it. Like even though you were homeschooled, you were around people all the time still.
Yeah.
And so you still had good and bad, positive, negative social interactions and whatnot.
Exactly.
These kids didn't have it, even in public school, because if any time they would have a negative interaction, that would be called out as bullying, and the person who gave the negative interaction would like get in trouble or whatever, and would just reinforce the kid to behave that way and not understand the social cues.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I said, I almost wonder if bullying is a necessary evil that maybe we shouldn't.
I mean, it might be.
Yeah.
It might be. Not so much the one that would cause you to look like a jerk, but more of like a constructive bullying, maybe.
Yeah.
More in that sense.
Well, and I almost wonder if like maybe the parents need to be bullies a little bit. The parents need to tell
that
their
they
kids.
do play a huge role.
Yeah, because that's how my parents they didn't be like, they were never like, oh, my poor baby, I'm gonna call down to the school and get this taken care of. They were never that way when I told them I was bullying. They were always like, what did you do? Because that's probably your fault. God dang it, somebody's calling me. 1 second. Oh, hold on, this might be important. 1 second. I'll edit this out in a sec. Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was a work assignment. I do like third party freelance IT work.
Mm-hmm.
I got screwed over by a job doing it the other day, and
oh dang.
Yeah, well, what it was is, and I talked about it in my last podcast too, but like they didn't properly communicate to the end customer what was actually needed, and ended up the job went over like 2 hours. And so that pushed me behind enough. I had to cancel another job that paid like same day or like within 7 days or whatever.
Right.
And it was pretty decent. It wasn't super huge, but it actually paid more than the job I did. So that made me mad. But it's like once you start a job, you can't just leave it.
Right.
So I basically had no choice but to just finish out the job.
Yeah.
And so they caused me to run over with that, and I'm like, well, hey, at the very least, you made me run over. I also had to spend some money to finish it because I had to go buy a part that they didn't have on site, which they're supposed to reimburse me for it, but I won't get the reimbursement until I get paid, and which is the issue, because they're like, yeah, we're a 30-day payout, so you're going to just have to float that cost for 30 days. And I'm just like, well, screw you. I'm not doing any more work for them. Like,
yeah.
That's
usually just what you have to do.
Yeah, so it's like all these jobs I'm trying to get now, I'm like checking, like, I'm having to make up some budget here.
Right.
And so I'm like checking with them, like, hey, what's your payout time?
Yep.
Some of them, I've got good relationships with several companies, but they just haven't had any jobs to send out recently.
Okay.
I've got actually a few where I've got like essentially monopoly over this area. So if there's a job in this area, I'm the first person they call, and
Nice.
they'll only post it if I say no. Like if I say my schedule's not going to work for that, then they'll post it to send it to somebody else. But otherwise, it's like it's coming to me first.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
It's really good. I've spent several years trying to build up a good work reputation with that. But every once in a while, I've got a few companies now that it's just like, I'm not doing any work for you guys. You guys suck.
Yeah.
So, but I talked about I'm not going to go too deep into those because I talked about that last podcast. But yeah, bullying, necessary evil.
Yep.
Let's move on so we don't spend the whole time just talking about this. Weather, how's that?
Dude, all right. Weather, where we live, just like this morning, is literally insane.
It is. It was like 70 degrees a few days ago, and
now it's. Let me check. Let me check what the temperature is right now. It is 36 degrees right now.
Yeah. Here, let me see what it is here, because I'm a little more north than you, but I'm also like in a hole, surrounded by mountains, just in the valley, so the temperature's really whack. Where's that? There it is. 32 degrees right now, freezing rain.
Yeah, it's oh my goodness.
I started in 5 minutes.
You can literally be one part of in the first of the week, say it's Monday. It could literally be the nicest day ever. Like sun is shining, clear skies, really warm, a nice cool breeze it's not too cold. It's just a perfect day. Literally the next day it could drop to 30 degrees and be raining. It's like, what is this? And then the next day it could be snow.
Yeah.
And then the next day you could get a tornado.
And guess yeah. And then guess what it is at the end of this week? 60 degrees and sunny.
Oh, wonderful. So it can sometimes just be the complete opposite.
Yeah. Dude, weather it's so borked in Oklahoma. It's so borked.
It's crazy.
It's it's so messed up. That was a quick topic. That's fine. We can.
I mean, there's not a whole lot more that we can say.
There's really not. It's
crazy.
It's insane. Which I mean, it's kind of nice because I woke up to snow this morning, and I haven't woken up to snow in
that's true.
A decent amount of time.
Yeah.
So to wake up, it's like, oh, there's snow. Like not just like, oh, it did flirt. No, like there was a good couple inches.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So yeah, we got snow, and then I slept because everything was canceled. Like work was canceled. I can't go drive. My tires are bad right now. I definitely can't go driving that at the moment, unless I just wanted to go over to the stinking cul-de-sac and hoon around in it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going nowhere with my tires. I probably wouldn't go anywhere with good tires because there's ice, like straight ice on the road, and they haven't salted any of it because why would they? It never snows.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I slept out. I didn't wake up till like nearly noon. It was great.
Yeah.
I just kind of drifted in and out of sleep.
Probably for me, yeah. For me, I mean, we all went to bed really late last night.
Yeah.
But I still I had my alarm set for I woke up pretty early just because I didn't know if we'd be going out today.
Yeah.
And then
I naturally woke up at 6:30.
What was it? I think I set my alarm for 6:45. And that went off, and I was like, I'm not gonna get up at 6:45. So I hit snooze. And I have an alarm, a everyday alarm set at 8 o'clock. So it's like, okay, I'm not gonna wake up this early. I'll wake up at 8. I woke up at 8, and still nothing. It was just I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going out in this, because it was still raining and stuff, and it was super cold. It was there's no way I'm getting out in this. So I woke up, I actually got up at 10 or something.
Yeah. I naturally just kind of woke up at about 6:30. And I kind of got up, went and had a morning pee, as one does, I walk
Yep.
over to the window and I'm just like, oh, snow.
Yeah.
And I walked right back to my room. I got right back in my bed.
Yep.
And I kind of, like, I woke up here or there for, like a couple hours. Had some weird dream. I had a dream that I was in freaking My Hero Academia. Like,
Good dream.
it
Good
would
dream.
be, but it was a weird dream. Like, it's not just, oh, My Hero, but it was like I was freaking Deku, and then there was just like weird, like I could make myself shrink super super small,
Interesting.
and then like, you know how you have like a globe, like I had like in the dream I could shrink super super small and explore like
Okay.
a globe that you would have on your desk. I could
Okay. Yeah.
explore
Yeah.
it like it was the actual world because suddenly the water became real and I could swim in it or whatever.
All right.
It was freaking weird. Like, yeah, it was weird. It was really weird.
Yeah, that does sound a little weird.
Dude, like it was trippy as heck. But then I woke up at about noon, a little before, and I was like, oh, all right, well I'm up. Went and got some of that jerky I made yesterday, and it was spicier than I expected, so I made a drink. That's good stuff, though. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna start making it pretty regularly. But
Nice.
yeah, so I kind of like it because when the weather does get bad, because it doesn't often get that kind of bad here. It's,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like we'll get tornadoes and stuff, but we rarely get snow or ice anymore.
Yeah.
So when we do stuff, everything just shuts down, and I'm okay with
Yeah.
that because I was probably sleep deprived anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yep, I am totally fine with it.
Like, I wish we would have more regular winters. Of having snow and sleet and stuff. Like, I wish
Yeah.
we would have that, but it just doesn't happen here very often anymore.
I don't think it ever really happened all that often.
Mm-mm.
Just kind of thinking about it. I think it's just as we've grown up.
Yeah.
Like, when we were kids, 2 days of cold weather felt like forever.
Yeah.
But now that we're grown up, it's like, it's just 2 days, whatever.
Yeah. It's not a whole lot.
Yeah. And so it's just kind of the way time distorts as you grow up.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Like, I remember days used to feel like they took forever, and now it's just like, oh god, the day's already over.
Yeah, it's like Monday. Gosh, this week's gonna suck, and then all of a sudden it's Friday. Okay,
Oh, already
like,
then.
right?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. So then I started going to the gym. Like I went yesterday before we all got on. I'm kind of having flip-flop moments of confidence there.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, I'll have days like yesterday where I go in and I'll see a couple of like really, like I know who they are, but you know, they've been working out obviously for a while.
Yeah.
They look really really fit. And I'll see them doing weights that are like half of what I do and they're struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, you know, and then I'll be like, hey, can I use the bench when you're done? And they're like, sure. Like, they're like, do you want us to take these weights off? And I'm like, no, leave them. In fact, double them. So I'll have that, and it'll just make me feel good about myself because,
Yeah.
you know, I can perform pretty well at the gym now.
Yeah.
But then it's like other days I'll go and I'll see other dudes who are about my size, and they're lifting like 3 and 4 times what I can lift, just casually,
Yeah.
So it's not even look like these big beefed up guys. They're just average looking dudes, and they're like, they'll like casually just start bench pressing 315 pounds.
Yeah.
Like with that, they don't even have a spotter. They're just, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
I'm just
they're
gonna
going
go
down
at it.
doing it.
And I'm just like, good God.
Yeah. No, that's definitely something that I've dealt with as well. Is that you go, because you know me, I'm literally a stick.
Yes.
Like, I'm skin and bone. And I go in and I see these huge dudes, you know, like bench pressing, lifting weights and stuff. And it's like, I do feel like like less confident about myself. It's true. It's like it's hard to like be there trying to do your workout, and it's like you're watching these guys and stuff. But it's like I understand that mindset, but it's more of like need to think about like they've gotten to that point to where they can do that. I just got to get to the point where I can do that. Like
Yeah.
it's like I understand it's like you go and you see people doing that, but it's like you really can't compare yourself to other people just because when it comes to working out, you have so much to think about in regards to body type and like the kind of their whole routine, how often that they've been doing it. Like for me, like I am so bad about going to the gym. I am so bad about it. Like it's like I need to get on a better schedule for it
Yeah.
because I do feel so good when I go to the gym, and like I don't know why I just don't go often. Um, but there's so many different things to think about when when you're going to the gym and like sort of thinking of like it's like oh dude this dude's bench pressing more than me. It's like well like he got to that point to where he could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like so that's just where you just have to work yourself to get to that point. I mean, you can't compare yourself to other people who put in the work. You've got to just put in the work and reap the benefits
Yeah.
from the work that you put in because that's what they're doing.
Well, yeah, and oh goodness, yawn. I'm kind of in a good position for it because I do build muscle and build strength really quickly, just naturally I do, which I imagine you being a stick is kind of hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, but I mean they talk about body types. You get the real skinny guys. You get like the medium-sized dudes who kind of get the best of both worlds. Like they stay pretty skinny, but they can also put on muscle pretty easy. And then you get guys like me. Like I'm a big guy. I have a really hard time losing weight.
Yeah.
But the side to that is I put on muscle extremely quickly.
Yeah.
Like from the time I've only been going to the gym a little over a month. And let's see. From the time I started, I was doing like struggling, not really struggling, like I could do it, but after about the third set, I was like dead of 135 bench press, which is a 45 on each side. I'm now up to where I can do, I start a warm up at 135, I end at like 185 to 195. And I can do a set if I put my energy into it of 225.
Yeah.
It's like so that's in the span of a little over a month, I've increased it by what would that be? 90 pounds? Yeah, 90 pounds. I've increased my bench press.
And how often do you go like a weekly? Like how often do you go a week?
Oh, every day. I do go.
See, there's the thing right there.
Yeah, but it's not just that I go every day because I'm not working out bench press every day.
Yeah.
I'm doing curls. I skipped leg day, but my legs are already freaking massive anyway. I don't really need it. But I'll do, core workouts. I'm doing back workouts, shoulder workouts.
You're getting it all. You're getting it all done though. You're getting used to that workout. So you go every day. Your body gets used to that. You keep that routine up. It just makes it so easy to get where you want.
Exactly.
Once you especially after you've been doing this a month and you've been going every day, like it just makes it so much easier to keep progressing if you do that. For me, I have to force myself to go to the gym and get on a schedule like that, and then be able to possibly do it.
And that's one thing I've learned since I've started is that, because when I first started, I had a really hard time making myself go. It's just like, oh, this is gonna take so much time. I spend about an hour a day in there, maybe a little more, about 2 hours maybe if it's a long workout, but usually around an hour. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is an hour that I'm just spending in here. I'm just going to go make myself feel sore. I'm going to hate it. I don't want to go. And then now, since I did, I got tough with myself and forced myself to go every day. Now it's like I'm looking forward to it, and I feel bad if I skip it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it that took time even.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I just need to get to that point because I did pretty well for a while. Of course, what I did for my schedule was I think I only went like 3 times a week.
Yeah, which 3 times a week is plenty. I only go every
Yeah.
day because I'm pretty overweight by a lot, and I really I'm trying to work really hard to lose it. And one way to absolutely ensure I go is to just go every day. Just have a set time. This is the time I go to the gym. At every day, and I just do it.
Yeah.
But for somebody like you who you don't really have a whole lot of body fat, you don't necessarily have to go every day.
Yeah.
You'd be just fine 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm. Which you have to be careful too, because if especially in my case, if you go that often, then you can actually start hurting yourself. Actually, you can start becoming. There is, there's overweight, of course, but you start working out a lot and you start losing your body fat and stuff. You can actually start to get to the point where it could become pretty bad health cause.
I just noticed for some reason my green screen lighting went off. Why is it doing that? Oh god, it's broken. Hold on, Micah.
Okay.
Nope. I love having a green screen, but it ticks me off sometimes. Did we fix it? Lighting is still off. Might be as good as we're gonna get. What the heck? It was. I had the lighting perfect. I don't understand what happened. Whatever, it's fine. I don't think that nobody's watching this to watch how good the green screen is anyway. So there we go, and now it looks fine again. Still not perfect, but yeah. So yeah, kind of like what you said is you pretty easily can hurt yourself if you overdo it. You can also, I discovered myself, because I still feel it when I go to work out in my shoulder, if you have really bad form.
Yes.
That will hurt you pretty bad.
Yep.
I was doing some, was it bench presses? I think it was bench presses. It was either bench presses or military presses. And I overdid it just a little bit. And my form was bad, and I let the bar drop a little too low. And I tore that muscle in my shoulder. Not super bad, but enough that it hurt.
Yeah.
And I still, when I start warming up, it hurts. That's why I warm up with a low weight. Because until I get used to the motion of it, it's going to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Once I get my warm-up done and my body's like, oh, okay, this is the motion we're doing today, it quits hurting and I can go as high weight as I really want.
Right.
But I have to get that warm-up period done first.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that's a huge thing to take into consideration when working out, is if you are not doing it correctly, lifting correctly in anything, oh man, you talk about hurting yourself. You can really mess yourself up if you are not properly lifting correctly, and it'll hurt you, and it can actually hurt you in the long run, really, really badly.
Well, that's why ever since then I had kind of just ignored it because I didn't really understand how it worked. But have you seen those bench blocks?
Yeah.
They go on the bar and they catch it on your chest. Just depends on what block, depends on what weight it is and what block you're using. But I started using one of those to keep it from dropping too low.
Yeah.
So, because, I hurt myself once and I was like, I hate this. This sucks. I'm in pain. Let's not do that again. So, but I mean, ever since then, it's been pretty good. I'm happy that I started going.
Yeah.
I definitely feel better for it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's always a plus.
Yeah. It does hurt my confidence a little bit when I see a dude who doesn't, like, he's not, like, really built either. He just looks about the same size as me. And he just, I'm going to casually lift 315 pounds. Or, you know, squat, whatever, I don't know, what's 405, I think. I'm just going to casually squat 405 pounds or 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, good
but who knows,
Lord.
like either he's got to that point to where he can do that, or
he might just be.
It was just like he actually was struggling, and like might be hurting himself there.
Yeah, might have that retard strength, you know.
Probably.
You know, it's like I'm mentally. Yeah, I'd say that, but he was actually a really smart guy. But have you ever seen that, like, when somebody with Down syndrome is just, like, insanely strong?
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And I did some research, and it's not that they're necessarily stronger than other people. My understanding of it is that they do have a little bit more muscle mass, but they don't have that kind of mental inhibition that's like your sense of self-preservation. They go all out all the time.
Yeah.
And it shows. Good God, just be careful when you walk into the special ed classroom. You might have a 5-year-old tossing a desk across the room. I've seen it. I have personally seen it. So there's this one kid. He's a problem child, and his parents pawned him off essentially to his lesbian aunts. And they just give him whatever he wants. And so he's already mentally challenged, but then he's also a spoiled brat.
Yep.
It's he causes some issues for the teachers.
I can see that.
Yeah. So it's not uncommon to hear a kid screaming in the hallway while being held down by usually the cop. Usually they have to get the cop involved because
good Lord.
It's these tiny little, you know, I'll put it this way. You know, like the old children's cartoons like Caillou and stuff? How every female teacher always looked the same. It was always really tall and super skinny with like really long limbs. And like kind of moved cartoonishly like a noodle.
Yeah.
The teacher for this class looks like that. Like the actual physical embodiment of the noodle teacher. I've never seen anything like that before in my life till I met her, and I don't know that I'll ever see it again. But even just like the shape of her head, and like she's got the big poofy curly hair.
Oh man.
It's insane.
Oh my goodness.
Like I've never seen I've never seen a real life cartoon before, and she is a real life cartoon. like it's crazy, but that's how she is, and so she can't handle these kids necessarily on her own when they go full rage mode.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, it's a funny sight. It's a funny sight for sure. I mean, you feel bad, but then also it's just like you can't watch it without laughing. So.
That's true.
All right. Well, I think we pretty well covered the topics for today. Let's play some League.
Sounds good.
All righty. Catch you guys in the next episode. Every week on Thursday now. I changed the day so that I had an extra day to make a thumbnail and crap because the automated YouTube ones suck. And I need to quit being lazy anyway.